We got more Joel Embiid news here today. The New York Knicks are officially monitoring the Joel Embiid situation, and we are going to talk about it. Hi, my name is Chris. Welcome to Knicks Digest, and we have more Joel Embiid news back once again with a Joel Embiid video. We've been doing them a lot recently, but that is because it feels like there is a real chance the New York Knicks could be landing Joel Embiid in the near future, as we have now gotten confirmation that the New York Knicks are waiting to see if Joel Embiid requests a trade away from the Philadelphia 76ers amid James Harden calling out Daryl Morey, amid all of these poor decisions that the 76ers have made since essentially drafting Embiid, such as following up with drafting Jahlil Okafor, and basically every single decision they've made outside of trading for Jimmy Butler, which doesn't even matter because they basically let the guy walk away and lead two teams to NBA Finals runs. And Embiid can't be thrilled about all this. There's only so much you can take when you have been carrying a team for almost a decade now. It makes sense why he would want out, and it really feels like this could be happening. We heard it from Vince Goodwill on Friday. Many people do believe Embiid is at the cusp of asking out. And the Knicks are circling and waiting to see how this situation evolves. The Heat were also mentioned. I'll give you a quick second to read this over. I'm not going to read it out loud and sound like that kid in third grade who couldn't read stuff aloud without stumbling through every word when you're sighing, waiting for him to stop talking. And that's enough time for you guys to read that. But on a more serious New York Knicks basketball note, we now have confirmation that the New York Knicks are in the running for Joel Embiid. If Embiid asks out, that is. And if you ask me, there's a good chance he's going to. With all this stuff going on, there is always fire when there is smoke. There is a 5-alarm fire level smoke in the Philadelphia 76ers organization. I have never heard of a player calling out their own GM publicly, threatening to show up to training camp and basically just be a problem, and then after that threatening to go play in China despite the fact that he just had a tremendous NBA season and is a very useful player on any team. He's still an all-star level player, but none of that matters. The 76ers are in a panic. This is not good for Philadelphia, but it is great for the New York Knicks, as since Leon Rose came in, they've been stockpiling assets and actually going for star players, which is wild. Because as a lot of us know, as Knicks fans, we have to always deal with the Knicks for clicks. We're always linked to great players. I am only 22 years old, so I can't go back and really discuss the LeBron stuff in detail from 2010. I do know that LeBron decided to announce this at the Boys and Girls Club in Greenwich, Connecticut, which is a 45-minute drive from New York City, just to say that he's going to Miami. He sort of led us on, as far as I know, and then I paid a lot of attention in 2019 for the Kevin Durant saga. That was a real slap to the face. Then there was Donovan Mitchell, who the Knicks went for. They didn't get him. It's not the end of the world, mainly because they beat him in the playoffs. Just saying. But on a serious note, the Knicks, once again, have been linked to a tremendous player. One of the best players in the NBA. He won MVP last year. He is an elite-level talent. And he's at a position where the Knicks really could upgrade, despite the fact that Mitchell Robinson is a great player. If you can add Joel Embiid, you add Joel Embiid. The Knicks are a superstar away. We have known this for a little bit now. It feels like everything is in place except for that absolute NBA superstar, the type of guy who can be the best player on a championship team, which is incredibly rare. There's like 5 or 6 of them in the NBA right now who have been the best player on a championship team. I'm talking LeBron, Giannis, Jokic, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant. Those are the names. Joel Embiid just had a better season than all of them except for Jokic. The Knicks could land him. This is a real thing that the Knicks could do. Leon Rose has been stockpiling assets. He actually goes for stars. The Knicks are known to be looking at stars constantly because if we know that they're a superstar away, it's not like the front office is out there thinking that they're like a role player away. They're aware of this. It's why they keep deferring these picks. They're waiting for the correct star. Maybe a guy who, despite playing in Philadelphia, has a house in New York or is part of CAA or is friends with Julius Randle. Does that ring a bell? Do you know who I'm talking about? Because I'm talking about Joel Embiid, the man who has put up monstrous numbers. 33 points per game, 10 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 blocks, shooting 55% from the field, 33% from 3, is an absolute monster, NBA superstar, on the road to the Hall of Fame. He's already a Hall of Fame lock. Come at me if you disagree. The Knicks have to go for this. They're in a position. The one thing is, he has not requested a trade yet. For those who don't know, I recently just saw that Joel Embiid did take out processing out of his Twitter. We all know he's Joel Embiid. He's also made a few comments on he wants to win a championship no matter where it is. You don't just talk like that. You don't try to mess with your own fan base like that, especially when you're the franchise player, when you're the golden boy. You don't do that unless there's something going on. Joel Embiid is vocal. When he's got something to say, he's gonna say it. I think what is happening here is that all these poor decisions that the 76ers have made since essentially drafting Joel Embiid have gotten to him. He's stuck with them through all of it. Through his 2 injuries, the 76ers didn't give up on him, so he didn't give up on them, despite the fact that they did stuff like draft Jahlil Okafor and let Jimmy Butler walk and watch as he would lead the Heat to 2 NBA Finals appearances, and instead pay Tobias Harris, who despite being a very good player, is not an NBA superstar, getting paid like an NBA superstar. Then this whole Harden debacle. The Ben Simmons thing, I don't even know how to classify that. That's the most mysterious thing I've ever seen. Talking about mysterious, Markelle Fultz, their #1 overall pick, who they traded up for, did not work out. They traded him for Jonathan Simmons, who did not play well in Philadelphia, was out of the NBA the year after. This is a whole lot of poor management just right in Embiid's face. So it does beg the question, will Embiid actually request the trade? And maybe I'm biased, maybe I'm speaking with my heart, maybe I'm thinking with my heart instead of my brain, but I do think that Joel Embiid is on the cusp of requesting a trade. We rarely see a guy stay with the same team throughout his entire NBA career. When it does, or when they do, it is almost always a guy who has been on teams that have been successful for a long time throughout the majority of their career. The one guy this entire generation who's doing this is Steph Curry. He, first of all, blossomed late, and by the time he blossomed into an NBA superstar, they won the NBA Finals the year after. So, he was an all-star, they were a 6th seed, they won as that 6th seed, they got to the second round. Then the next year they win the finals, they have the dream season, they go 73-9, LeBron happens, Kevin Durant stuff. You see where I'm going with this. They're constantly good, outside of the one season when Steph missed the entirety of it because he hurt his wrist. So, it's not going to happen. We're not in this world where everyone sticks with one team. We're not in the age of extreme loyalty no matter what anymore. The NBA has changed. Joel Embiid knows that he can make a lot of money going to a big market, potentially the biggest market, when he's got that type of personality. So this is a situation where you have to think, is he really going to sit around and see if this team can sort of do a half-assed rebuild, just where they're keeping their star and trying to be good, but also at the same time trying to figure out what to do with James Harden, whose value is diminishing by the literal second? Because I don't. I think he's done. I think he's going to be fed up with all this. And there have been thoughts that Daryl Morey maybe wants this to happen. Maybe this is something that Vince also said, is that there's a world where Morey might prefer if Embiid requests a trade, so he can get an insane package, like he did with Houston, who's now, they're obviously Morey's not there, but they're rebuilding beautifully right now. They're just a plethora of young talent. The team is young. They're only improving. Jalen Green's been getting better and better. Jabari Smith showed a lot over Summer League. If you did not see that game-winning three, I would say look it up. It was one of the coolest shots I've seen in a very, very long time. You got Tari Easton. You got a lot of great players on the Rockets, and that's because Daryl Morey made moves. And they're still going to be getting Brooklyn Nets picks for a while, which is really hilarious when you consider who the Brooklyn Nets now have instead of James Harden, Ben Simmons. It's funny. But we know that Daryl Morey is going to ask for a plethora of basically young players, all the picks. To put it into words, what I think a Joel Embiid trade would look like before I let you guys go is it's going to be RJ Barrett. It's probably going to be Emmanuel Quickly. It's certainly going to be Mitchell Robinson. Those three are gone. There's no way around it. Those three are going. Quickly is that relationship with Maxey. RJ Barrett is just not that loved by the New York Knicks' current front office regime. Maybe because he's not CAA, which I sort of have a problem with. But if you can trade him for Joel Embiid, you trade him for Joel Embiid. The problem is, as I said, it would be him, it would be Mitch, it would be Quickly, and then on top of it, it would probably be somewhere around 8 first-round draft picks. Maybe a little less. I'm trying to be realistic. It sounds horrifying, and it's not going to be all unprotected. It'll probably be 2 or 3 at most unprotected picks, then a lot of swaps and stuff, because the Knicks do have those draft picks where they diminish in value. They're diminishing in value. They have a lot of protections on them. The Knicks would give up all of that. They would have to. It's the only way. And as we saw, Leon Rose was really gunning for Donovan Mitchell. He offered a lot. He offered a lot of picks. He offered Barrett. He offered Mitchell Robinson. I think he offered Quickly at one point. He offered everything that's not Quentin Grimes. So, really, the Knicks would probably give in to a huge demand. But it could work. I'm not saying it will, but it could work. And it's something that I would be excited to see if it happens. I'm trying to stay on the positive side of this because, as we know, the Knicks are pretty close. You can fill out the rest of that with role players. If you get Joel Embiid, pair him with Jalen Brunson, pair him with Julius Randle, have Quentin Grimes' elite 3-and-D effort as he's only getting better. You put in Josh Hart at the small forward or DiVincenzo. It can work out. It really can work out. And that is really all I have to say on the Joel Embiid topic. But essentially, stay ready for more Joel Embiid news. This is not the last we're going to see with this. We're probably going to make around 500 more Joel Embiid videos because at the end of the day, more and more stuff keeps coming out. This is a real-world scenario, and I cannot wait to see what comes out next. But more importantly, I cannot wait for this NBA season upcoming. And it is going to be a blast. So make sure to like and subscribe to Knicks Digest. We're pumping out content. We are not slowing down. We're on the grind. Coming out with content. Trying to come out with content every day. We're going to be coming out with at least around 4 or 5 videos a week for you guys. Whenever you're watching it, wherever you're watching it, make sure you're liking. Make sure you're commenting. Let me know what you think in the comments is a good trade for Joel Embiid. I love reading the comments, even the ones that are bashing me for various reasons. Like maybe that LeBron poster right there. Doesn't matter. Have a great day, guys, and remember, go Knicks.